trouble all the time, and even minor obstacles for us can become fatal for them. Sometimes they just can't make it without us. So today, we're showing you 45 animals that ask for help. Watch to the end, you won't be able to remain indifferent. This sloth was too far from shore and in the middle of a heavy boat traffic area. He had to ask these guys for help, and they gave him a ride to the shore on the breeze. This rescue was the fastest thing he had ever experienced.
He's waving to you.
You shouldn't feel like a fish out of water. There you go.
Upon hearing the desperate cries of this puppy, this man rushed to help without a moment's hesitation. He literally snatched the puppy from an alligator's jaws without even dropping his cigar. Little buddy is all right now. And this dog was grabbed by a python and immediately dragged under the water without so much as a chance to squeal. Fortunately, these guys saw the poor fellow from shore and immediately began fighting to save him. Seems like these guys were trained by John Wick himself. This biker miraculously noticed a 3-week-old kitten frozen with fear on the road. The man immediately got the little one out of harm's way and put it on his bike. Now, the young cat will have the coolest owner ever.
Trust me, it's far from ideal, but hey, at least you're safe this way.
Honey badgers can usually get out of anything, but not this time. This guy was lucky enough to be spotted by some passing rangers. He was extremely exhausted and accepted any help they would give. Look at how he grabs onto the blanket to be pulled out at last.
Yes! Yes!
This man responded to a call for help and saw an unfortunate deer stuck in a rift in the ground. He couldn't just leave the animal to suffer, so he broke off a whole chunk of earth to save it.
Вот молодец, красавец. Спасибо, хоть сказал бы.
Look at these eyes, full of hope. With its strength nearly gone, the deer reaches out to people for salvation. Then, a whole group of cyclists abandon their route to rescue it. This anaconda is entangled in fishing nets. Watch how it wraps around this guy's arm out of fear that the man will leave it. The snake got so tangled up that the man needed to recruit the help of everyone around. This is probably the best example of how we can accomplish anything together. These 3 coyote pups got tangled in a soccer net and could hardly breathe or move. Their mother was helpless. An animal control officer had to literally cut the pups out of the mesh. This dog tried to swim across to the other side where people were, but he got carried away by the strong current. And then this man sprung into action without hesitation. This dog definitely found his best friend ever. This poor little guy wasn't making any sound, but he was lucky enough to be spotted by a firefighter in a burned down house. An oxygen mask saved this puppy's life. This girl saw a small shark stuck between rocks. The girl freed the shark and hugged it like a kitten to calm it down while she carried it over the rocks to open water to set her free.
Ah, beautiful job.
And this shark made it to shore looking for help from people. This guy immobilized her so that someone else could pull a huge fish hook from her mouth. Then the rescuers helped the shark return to the ocean. Is she gratefully waving them goodbye? A young bobcat got caught in a trap and was ready to fight to the death. The poor thing clearly had no idea that this guy had come to save it.
Alright. Wish me luck.
Once freed from the trap, the animal can hardly believe that it's just being allowed to walk away. This giraffe fell into a pool and was struggling to get out on its own, but once it had exhausted all of its strength, it finally surrendered itself into the hands of kind people. This has to be the most incredible rescue mission you've ever seen. This leopard fell into an 8-meter well and definitely would not have been able to get out on its own. But this man was not afraid to risk his own life to save the dangerous predator. These guys are in grave danger because under the hood is an extremely venomous black mamba. Just look at how huge it is. It was a very dangerous rescue, but without their help, this snake would not have survived.
It's a nice big mamba, eh?
This poor baby pig was struggling to stay afloat and had already begun to sink, but this man wouldn't let the little piglet die. The young animal was immediately taken to a shelter. Just look at its happy little face.
Hakuna Matata.
A baby zebra was stranded in a tree, and rescuers had to push the branches apart with their hands to save him. After he was freed, the young foal could barely stand on his own. But now he's with his mother, so he'll be okay. This bird ended up wedged in this guy's car, and the man was willing to damage the car to save it. What's even more amazing is that it could still fly after the ordeal. But now he's with his mother, so he'll be okay. This lynx got caught in a trap and was very skeptical about people until this guy rescued it at his own risk. It really looks like now the cat's showing some gratitude. This unlucky puma was driven into a tree by a dog. And as it turned out, was very afraid of heights. This fireman has never had to rescue this kind of cat from a tree. This moose spent many hours in icy water waiting for help from people. The ice had formed so tightly around the animal that it had to be cut with a chainsaw to allow the giant to get out and get back on its feet. It looks like this unfortunate koala had already given up when suddenly this woman came to the rescue. After quenching its thirst, the poor creature continued to cry and started begging to be picked up. It had been through a lot, but now was in good hands. This dehydrated leopard got its head stuck in a metal vessel, so it just sat in the middle of the road, hoping to receive help from people. Look at how the predator bravely tolerates handling while being rescued. How this cat ended up in this ravine is a mystery, but it definitely couldn't turn back. Some people lowered a box to assist, and it instantly knew what to do. That's all for today. If you've ever had to save an animal, be sure to tell us about it in the comments. You deserve a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you in the next video.